What's up everyone? Sam here from Byte.com, and in this video I want to actually share with you a recent Facebook Live I did where I share the 3 things that I do every day to make sure that I'm staying healthy as I'm working in front of my computer all day. And on February 3rd, I'm teaching a free masterclass called The 4 Horsemen of the Whiteboarding Apocalypse at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Totally free. Go to byte.com/masterclass to sign up if you haven't already. All right, what's up everyone? Thanks for joining me here today for this exciting Facebook Live. Again, I'm Sam from Byte and I'm super excited to be here. We're gonna be talking about something that I actually find really interesting, which is health and fitness and wellness and how we can integrate that into our lives as software engineers. Because I think that one of the things that I find for a lot of people is that software engineering is just one of those professions where it kind of forces you to be in front of the computer all the time, right? Like that's the job, but the problem is that as humans, our bodies are definitely not built to be sitting all day, let alone in front of a screen all day. And so what I really want to do on this live today is honestly just share with you my thoughts on what I do. Because I'm not coding every day right now. I'm much more working on Byte, and I'm much more focused on creating content around that. But functionally, it's still the same. Functionally, I'm still in front of a computer all day. I'm still sitting all day, and I'm always trying to figure out how I can maximize my health. Because I guess I was trying to think what the expression was. I think it's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure or something like that. Basically, we want to take care of our health now so that we don't have to worry about our health being 10 times worse in the future. And so I really want to cover 3 main topic areas that, are things that I think about when I am thinking about just my health and wellness in my life in general. So first of all is the fact that we're sitting in front of the computer all day. And I think that one of the most valuable things that you can do, and I should clarify, all of this stuff might be kind of obvious, but if you're not doing it, I think that there's so many times when we know I should do something and we don't actually do it, which is one of the reasons why I want to bring up all these things. So first of all, try and get up and move throughout the day. One of the things that I like to do, which makes this really easy, is to use a Pomodoro timer. And there are a ton of apps that you can download for this, but basically it's a productivity tool where what it does is it times 25-minute increments. And the idea is you're supposed to pick one task you need to focus on that for 25 minutes, and then take a 5-minute break. And that's a perfect time for you to get up, walk around. I recommend, for example, get a small cup of water, or if you prefer, I'd probably recommend staying away from soda, but a small cup of whatever you like to drink while you're at work. Carbonated water is a great option because it's a little more interesting than just plain water, and make it relatively small. So you drink it, and then after those 25 minutes, you can get up and go refill it, and you can have basically an excuse to get up, just do a little stretching, stretch out your shoulders. We can tend to get in this really bad posture when we're sitting at our desk all day. Do a little bit of stretching, moving around. It doesn't have to be anything active or weird. If you're in an office with people, you don't want to maybe do jumping jacks, but just do something similar, get up and move, and that alone is going to make a huge difference. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is just more about general health. So food, exercise, and water are really, really important. And so when you're thinking about your food, realize that in a lot of these companies, a lot of the places that we're working, we have a lot of access to unhealthy food and a lot of access to just lots of food. I know at my old company, they paid for our lunch every day. They would pay for our dinner if we were sticking around. We had snacks around all the time, which were mostly things like M&Ms or Chex Mix or potato chips. And it's that's not a great thing for you to be snacking on a regular basis. So try and plan ahead with your food. Even if you're going to, order on Seamless every day for lunch, what one of my colleagues and I did when I was working at my old company was we said, we're gonna hold each other accountable, and we're gonna order salad together 3 days a week. So we'll order salad 3 days a week, and then we're gonna order whatever we want to eat for lunch the rest of the week. And that was just a good, quick way for us to think about, how are we being a little bit healthier with what we're eating. Drinking a lot of water is also super important. Stay hydrated. It also forces you to get up and go to the bathroom regularly. So I highly recommend keeping that cup of water, or even keeping a bottle of water, and just trying to get regular drink water regularly throughout the day is super, super valuable. And then with exercise, I think that this is something that has totally changed my life personally. I try and work out 5 or 6 days a week. It definitely didn't start this way. It took me, it's been probably 5 years now of me sort of working up to this. And what I found worked really well was one of two things, both of which worked. So one was taking some sort of fitness class. So I decided to do CrossFit. I think that was really good for me because there's a lot of community element. There's a lot of incentive for you to show up and engage in the class and really push yourself because there's the group there, but there are a ton of different fitness classes. I know in New York, ClassPass is super popular. There's my wife likes Equinox where they have lots of classes there. So there are a ton of different options for fitness classes, but that's a great way to sort of get into the routine of going on a regular basis and just schedule the exercise into your schedule. Because if you put it on your calendar, what gets scheduled gets done. And so if you schedule in, I always schedule in like a specific time, this is when I'm gonna go. When I was working full time, I knew I didn't have to be in at work until, we had stand-ups at 11, so technically I didn't have to be until 11. And so I would say, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym at 8 every day. I'm gonna spend an hour at the gym, I'm gonna take a shower, get there by 9:30. I'm still there ahead of most of my colleagues, and that way I can leave work at a relatively normal time and not feel bad about it. So just figure out how it's going to work into your schedule. And then the other way that you can approach this is something that I'm doing now, which I really like, is that I actually have a trainer. And so I don't have to spend a huge amount on a trainer because I actually work with a guy who works with me remotely. And so I wanted to just share this guy's information with you in case you're interested. His name's Chris Colson. He's based in New York, so he does do in-person training as well, but I work with him completely online. You can Google him and he works, he basically sends me a workout plan every week, a meal plan every week, and I've found that to be a really great resource for me to sort of stick to my goals and have that accountability. And so that's something to think about. I think, I pay him, I think $300 a month for online coaching. And so it's not super expensive, it's not super cheap, but compared to having an actual trainer, it's a really affordable option, and I'd highly encourage you to check that out. So thing number one to think about is, how are you moving throughout the day? How are you making sure that you're getting up from your desk, getting those stretches in, getting that mobility? Two is, how are you thinking about your food, your water, and your exercise? Sort of those core building blocks of your health and well-being. And then number three is your sleep. And this is something that I think also as software engineers, I know a lot of us tend to like to stay up really late at night. We like to play video games. We like to do other things that just are not very conducive to sleep. And so a couple things that I highly recommend for this is, one, I have these blue blocking lenses. And so these are just clip-ons. They go on my glasses. And I know I look like a total dork when I wear them, but what I do is I put these on about 2 hours before I want to go to bed, and then I can sit and play video games, watch YouTube, whatever I want to do, and I don't feel bad about it because it's helping my body to, wind down for bed. I also personally like melatonin, but I am not a doctor, and so don't take any of this as medical advice. That's just my personal opinion. I find that it helps me to sleep a lot better at night, and the biggest thing with sleep is just consistency. Right? In so much as it is possible, try and find a time that you can stick to going to bed at the same time every night. Right? For me, I tend to go to bed pretty early. It's like if I can get to bed at 10:30 every night and then wake up at roughly the same time, I might sleep in on the weekends. But if I can try and be as consistent about that as possible, then that helps me to get better sleep overall, and it helps me to be more functional during the day, and it gives me more energy when I need that energy. So again, these are just a couple things that I would recommend that you think about when you are trying to be healthy as a software engineer. There's so much pressure on us with our jobs. There's so much stuff going on. We're really in an environment that's not super conducive to, being healthy. And so I highly recommend that you try and think about these things. Even if you sort of knew this already, think about, how can I take one of these strategies and actually start implementing it on a regular basis? Just start with one, keep it really simple, and build up from there. And if you are looking for a job right now, or you're looking to, maybe change up your career, I'd highly recommend that you check out our free guide on the most popular 50 coding interview questions that companies ask in their interviews, because this is a great way for you to, start to level up your career, start to find basically develop that interview prep habit so that when those interviews come up and when you're ready for that, you're not scrambling and trying to make it work. And so I'd highly encourage you to check that out. I appreciate all of you for joining me today. Again, we're doing these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern time. So I hope to see you on many lives in the future. And I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you guys on Friday. Thanks for sticking with me to the end here. If you enjoyed this and want a ton more from me, go to bytebybyte.com/masterclass, where you can sign up for our 4 Horsemen of the Whiteboarding Apocalypse masterclass that I'm teaching on February 3rd. I really hope to see you there, and if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video.